These are my top 5 favorite Microsoft flops. This isn't what you're thinking. I actually liked these ventures, but I was in the minority. Well, it's not the first time I've been in one of those, huh? Anyway, let's get to it. At number 5 is the Zune. Was the Zune really a flop? Well, probably. Microsoft tried really hard to create its own iPod competitor. Microsoft went with an OLED screen for the Zune HD. Apple didn't go to OLED until the iPhone X. You could get a Zune Pass to stream and download all kinds of music on Microsoft's player. The Zune had wireless sync well before Apple products did. The Zune's features were actually pretty great, but then phones ate music players. Who knows? Maybe because of the Zune's mention in Guardians of the Galaxy, the Zune will return. Coming in at number 4 is the Spot Watch. Spot stood for Smart Personal Object Technology. You'd get info about your Outlook calendar, stocks, sports info, horoscopes, and even instant messages from MSN Messenger on Spot Watches. You'd have to shell out for a data connection by MSN Direct, which costs around $10 per month or around $60 per year if you got billed annually. This was back in 2004. Arguably, smartwatches made more sense back then, since using your Moto Razr to get that kind of info might not be as simple. By the way, Spot was not limited to watches. You could get a connected coffee maker, so you can get weather info on your coffee maker, for some reason. Number 3 is the Xbox Kinect. The idea was that you were the controller and a way to appeal to casual gamers. Microsoft had the bold idea of bundling the Kinect with every Xbox One. The Kinect would be listening to you, so you could command it at will. You could swipe in the air to move through menus. There would even be Skype integration. Okay, so now the downsides. The addition of the Kinect brought the Xbox One's price to $500, about $100 more than a PlayStation 4. The original plan required the Kinect to be plugged in for the Xbox One to even work. There were also privacy concerns with the camera staring at you doing yoga things, and probably other things. Well, now the Kinect is dead. Number 2 has to be the Ultra Mobile PC. Microsoft has tried and tried to get a PC in your pocket for such a long time. What was an Ultra Mobile PC? I'll let Dan explain this one for me using a Sony model.
I'm Dan Ackerman, Senior Editor at CNET.com, and this is the Sony Vaio UX390. Now, it may look like an oversized T-Mobile sidekick, but it's actually a UMPC, and that stands for Ultra Mobile PC. Now, what's that? That is a handheld computer that has pretty much all the components and features that you'd find on a full-size desktop or laptop. Case in point, this guy has a full install of Windows Vista Business as opposed to the Windows Mobile or Palm OS that you might find on your Treo.
Battery life was kind of a joke. Pricing was way too high, and the operating system didn't make a lot of sense on such a small display. Maybe the Microsoft Surface Go is the spiritual successor of the UMPC. And the best Microsoft flop was Windows Phone. It was a really interesting idea. Microsoft's interface between Windows 8 and its mobile platform were pretty much the same. Tiles everywhere. It was a bold way to take on either. For the phone, you had big targets with data at a glance. One of the bigger problems for Windows Phone was the lack of something. Steve, what was that?
Developers.
Thanks. Those developers weren't making apps for Windows Phone. Microsoft tried to combat that by tying all kinds of social networks into its hubs, so you wouldn't need those apps. Maybe Microsoft had a plan to have its vast library of Windows apps on phones with RT and Windows running on ARM chips, but that didn't really work out, did it? Microsoft, those were some great ideas, but timing is everything. Let me know what your favorite extinct tech. I'm curious. I'm also Ayaz Akhtar, and I'll see you online.